What's up, Jake Bros? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite movies of 2019. You guys know that I do movie reviews on my channel often. So these are my top 10 favorite movies that I saw. Some of these movies I did movie reviews on the channel. Some of them I did not. Either way, I like them all equally. That's a lie. It's a top 10 list. So first is the best. And then it just, okay, so it all starts at 10, and then it just gets better from there. Alright, starting off our list is Detective Pikachu. This movie came out, oh my gosh, that's gonna get annoying, I'm sorry. But, this movie came out in May of, last year. Honestly, it was a shock to me because there hadn't been a gaming movie that has ever interested me. And I'm not even a big Pokemon fan. I don't know a whole lot. But this movie was just a ton of fun. It was such a fun action movie. I had a great time. Ryan Reynolds was terrific as Pikachu. And it was just such a fun story. And it was just it didn't slow down at all. It was just new. And I liked it. Number 9, we have Ford versus Ferrari. I saw this with my friend in November. And I thought it was, or December. I forget. I thought it was quite great. Matt Damon and Christian Bale did fantastic as the main protagonists, as the race car driver and the previous race car driver. They were perfect. I honestly thought their roles just carried the film, and the film in general was just such a great story. It was such a fantastic story. It was so heartwarming, and honestly, I hope it's still in theaters right now because I suggest you see it. Number 9. Oh, wait. That was number 9. Oh, oops. That's wrong. I'm sorry. This is my first time doing this. Okay. Please work. Number 8 is Harriet. Now, I got the privilege to see this with my class. And I love historical movies, so I already had a good mindset going into this movie. And I love learning about history, too. History is my favorite subject, and I was just way up to listen about it. So, Harriet is about Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad previous slave coach who got her family who were also slaves and other slaves out of the South. And no matter what, she was never caught. She never had to fire a gun, and she always got out unscathed. And I also, the main, oh my gosh, I can't speak. The person who played Harriet was absolutely astounding. She was terrific. And this movie didn't get a lot at the box office, or it also didn't get a lot of it's not really known. But honestly, guys, it was such a good movie. And whenever it comes out on rent, you should definitely watch it. Up next is Spider-Man: Far From Home. So as you guys know, I love the Marvel movies. So once again, I had a great mindset going into Spider-Man: Far From Home. This movie was such a twister. I honestly knew what was going to happen based on reading the comics. But still, it was such a twister, especially at the end. And this movie just kept you hanging. It was terrific. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio did absolutely fantastic. Tom Holland, once again, gives a great role as Spider-Man. He's terrific as Spider-Man. Honestly, the story just keeps going. Just like Detective Pikachu, it doesn't slow down at all. It just keeps going and going and going. And it really does show off the events of Avengers Endgame in the best ways possible. Number 6 is Joker. Joker was on the radar for many people's movies list this year. I was very, very excited to see it. Although I'm a bigger Marvel fan than I am DC fan based on their movies, I can tell you that this movie is absolutely doesn't compare to any of the DCEU movies. Plus, this isn't even a DCEU movies, but it's still made by DC Comics. This movie is phenomenal. Joaquin Phoenix, who played the Joker, was absolutely amazing as the Joker. It was riveting, creepy, and horribly, horribly disturbing. And the action was spot on whenever it whenever there was action. I loved the story. I loved the concept, and it was such a dark take on, well, a dark, sinister character, and they nailed it. Number 5 is Child's Play. Now, in 1988, the original Child's Play came out, and I am a huge Chucky fan. I own all the movies. I love that character. My favorite horror series. And whenever I heard they were making a remake, I was very skeptical because the director wasn't returning. The guy who made the original series, because he's still working on the old series, which I still love. It's so good. In a TV series coming out next year. But Child's Play was so different than it was in the 1980s one in such a great way. The kills were amped up. The story was actually very, very smart. That's what I most liked most about the movie, was the story. Aubrey Plaza, whom I love, was the starring mother in this movie, Karen, and it was just so good. I have one issue with this movie. It is great, but this movie's so different from the 1988 original that they could have changed the title of it. Because it was such a different movie. I think they did it for money. They kept the title for money. Well, that's obviously what they did it, but still. It's such a great movie. And you guys should definitely see it. Next up. Oh my god, I did that again. Okay. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Wow. I don't know why people hated this movie so much. I honestly love the twist. I can't spoil anything because it's still in theaters and a lot of people haven't seen it, but I thought this movie was so good. It was such a good movie. It was such a great conclusion. And I thought the action was spot on. It reminded me of A New Hope. They were all together. It was a group fight. I should just say, it reminded me of the original series. That's what it was. And it was perfect. Next up is Booksmart. Oh, I loved Booksmart. Booksmart is about two female high schoolers who are about to graduate, and they're super smart, but the other people around them are super smart, and they also know how to have fun, unlike these girls. And so these girls, they try to cram all this high school fun into one night while they still can. And this movie is absolutely comedy gold. It is hilarious. It reminds me of a female version of Superbad, but it's even better than Superbad. It is terrific, and I strongly suggest you see it. It didn't do well at the box office, but oh my god, it is worth the watch. No wonder it has some of the best reviews on this list. It is so funny, you guys. Best comedy of the year by far. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. Avengers. Why did I say ad? I never say ad. But anyway, Avengers Endgame, I think it just speaks for itself. It was a fantastic conclusion to the Infinity Saga. The stories are going to keep going. I'm excited to see where it goes. And this movie sets up so much possible boundaries to break through. And I'm so happy they went with the choices they did. And it was just such a smart movie. And it was such a great conclusion. And it just, it brings tears to your eyes of how good it was. It was so good. And I have no words. Robbie Downey Jr., I hope he wins best Oscar. At least get nominated. Number 1 is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Okay, so I'm a huge Mr. Rogers fan. And A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood came out in November, and I saw it opening night because I was so pumped to see it. And it was the greatest movie of the year. It didn't show as much Mr. Rogers, but more how he impacted the lives of the people who loved him. And it just shows what a great man he was. And this movie captivates everything that man was. And Tom Hanks' performance is unbelievably. It's It's you can't deny that his performance was the best performance of 2019. It was astounding. And easily the best movie of the year. Maybe the best movie I've ever seen. That's a stretch. I love movies. Yeah. This movie is probably the best movie I've ever seen. It is terrific. I was crying. You're going to want to bring tissues. Oh, guys. It is so, so good. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching my top 10 list for the best movies of 2019, in my opinion only. And check out next week's video. Don't know what it is yet. I filmed it. Duh. But still. Next week's video. That's a stretch. I do videos every week. A lot of the time. So, I post randomly. Oh my god, I keep talking. Okay, bye. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.